Yeah.
Hey, welcome to a Wednesday night edition of Road Less Traveled, episode 64. Brian and I are
64?
joined tonight with 64. We're joined tonight with fellow podcaster extraordinaire, Papa Bear, Craig Blann. Welcome to the show, Craig.
Welcome, you guys.
We finally got you on here.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, we've had you in the comment section, but now we got you on camera, so that's awesome.
Awesome. Cool.
All right, we're good. Stop the camera. Just kidding.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to do our music thing real quick. The three of us will share our music, and then I'll give Craig a proper introduction, and we'll turn it over and see where the Lord leads our conversation. So, Brian, what are you listening to this week, man?
Remastered Holy Soldier.
Oh, wow.
I like when they remaster the old stuff.
Yeah.
It just makes it fun. And then 1997, Whiteheart, I guess, had broken up already or something, and they came back and made this one.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure if they broke up, but I just know they disappeared for a bit. And then this one came out, and I bought it, and it's okay. I was just checking it out today.
It's been a while since I've heard Whiteheart.
And then this was my introduction to TFK.
Okay.
But you can tell this is good, but they're like Welcome to the Masquerade. You can tell the maturity from this album to that album. Not that this is bad, but they matured in their songwriting and their playing. I just really wish they would come back. So those are my three.
Okay, so this week I've got a little Theocracy again. This is the Mirror of Souls. Two outstanding songs on this one. Laying the Demon to Rest and Bethlehem. Just two outstanding top favorite songs of theirs. Next to I Am. Rick Renstrom. Rick is a really unique guy. He's a phenomenal guitar player, and he's got a physical disability that you would look at him and you'd say, there's no way this guy plays guitar. But unbelievable. He's played for Rob Rock.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got some solo stuff out there. Just really good. This is power metal. Just really good stuff. And then back to Angelica again. This one is one of the older ones that's got vocals on it. Their newest album has only instrumental, but Angelica is a good Canadian rocker.
They're from Canada.
Yeah, and just good hair metal, hard rock, good stuff.
We beat his hockey.
What are you listening to, man?
Hey, I've been listening to quite a few things too. Here, of course, I told you I went to a concert recently for Reclaim the Day, and I listened to them. This is their EP.
Okay.
But they're a little more on the grunge side, they really go. They rock hard. And they've got new stuff coming out. Hope Remains is their latest. As a matter of fact, if you watch YouTube, their video, Hope Remains, look up Reclaim the Day. At the end of the video, you'll see my name there. She gave thanks to a few of us. So,
cool.
And helping them, supporting them on that.
Nice.
And my good buddy, Devin Williams. I couldn't find the newer CD, but because the newer CD is this one. I'll show you the back of the shirt.
He's turned his back on us.
Yeah, Conquer the World. It's called Conquer the World, his new CD, and I'm putting it out there, Devin, so you better give me. No, I'm kidding. But Devin is become a buddy of mine since he's been on my show. And, I really do support his music. He's pretty hard rock. I wouldn't put him in the metal category or anything, but he's definitely hard rock. Mm-hmm. I grew up on classic rock, so he definitely caught my ear. And of course,
melodic rock is my favorite. That's how I got to
show you something. This is classic. This is a classic. If you're old enough, you know who this is.
R-
Res Band.
Yep.
Oh wow.
The microphone got in the way, and I was like going to say Rez, but I didn't want to jump.
Here you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I
Excellent.
like the colors on that.
Yeah, it says Bootleg Live. And why this is important to me is I was at this concert, and
Oh, wow.
you can hear me in it because I was right up front screaming loud as I could.
And I was probably watching that video and going, "Who's that idiot?" Yep, just a kidding.
Yeah, I was in Chicago, of all places.
Oh, wow.
I used to live in the Chicago suburbs, Libertyville, Illinois. And we went to concert when I was in high school. I was in high school with this baby. And I think we went to the Odeum is where it was being played. And they told us it was live. And they said, make as much noise as possible. We sure did.
That's
so
fun.
Have you heard this one?
Yep.
Okay. Reborn Again. I keep hitting this mic.
So that's the newest one.
No, his newest one. Yeah, it just came out, but
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that yet. You know,
Okay.
you had to pre-order it, but he signed the back of it, of course.
Cool.
Nice.
And of course, I told you guys that I had the signed Straper.
Yes.
This is a good. I mean, I love this album actually. This one and the one before, Even the Devil Believes.
Mhm.
Those are two of my favorite, most recent ones of theirs. And of course, Robert Sweet, Drumsticks. I told you all about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
He beats him up. Look at that.
Well played.
I said that is cool. So, and it was great meeting him. I've had Michael Sweet on my show some time ago. Matter of fact, just before I saw him in concert 2 years ago, I talked to him. So, but it was on Zoom. He likes doing Zoom, and so I did it just once for the sake of doing interview with him. But he was a nice guy. He was a really cool guy. We talked for about maybe 25 minutes because he had things to do. But it was great to be able to talk to him and then meet him sometime after that. So,
Yeah.
but that's my music for the week, man.
All right.
Always
So let me do this properly because you got a background or a bio that's kind of almost like something you'd see in a movie. So
It felt like a movie.
so we've got Craig has been involved in music and art since he's been in high school. He was in plays. He's done puppetry. He's done acting. He's a former Marine. He has seen some pretty cool things as a Marine. We got to talk about a little earlier. Maybe we can share some stories a little later. Soloist, singer for a rock band called Messenger. And it's funny because our last guest, Frank Clifton Herring from the band Messenger, was on. So you were in a band called Messenger also, and the singer for
we
that.
changed our name then because we found out there were other bands with that
There were the
name.
Messenger.
So we
Which
started
one
out
changed
with
it to?
Messenger, but it ended up being Y, like the letter Y.
Oh, okay.
So nobody could think, a letter you can't go wrong. I guess
They're always
I don't
asking
know.
you a question, right? Why?
Yeah, why? We don't know why. Well, but yeah, but I was in a
That's
rock
cool.
band yet, and I had hair then. Okay, my hair was long. It was the '80s deal. You know what I
It
mean?
was the 80s.
There-
Yeah, you had to have it.
yeah.
So, and now podcaster extraordinary. Just heard he had Michael Sweet on. I couldn't even begin to list all the cool guests that you've had on and the cool things you've done. So,
Yeah.
want to tell us about your show, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah, well, I'll tell you how I started. It's very interesting. I had a friend, Nick, who would join me at the time until he moved away. But Nick was a good friend of mine, and he got me started and showing me how to make this work, kind of thing. And he kind of was my tech guy behind the scene type thing. But the first people I was interviewing were actors
Oh, cool.
from a television series. It was my way of breaking the ice and getting into podcasting. And I interviewed actors that were a part of the Waltons television series.
Oh wow.
The only reason I knew them is because I went to. They had a grand opening of a bed and breakfast that was after the Waltons. It actually looked like the Waltons' house from the show and everything else. And you could stay there, and it looks just like the Waltons' house. When you walk in there, it's like walking onto the TV set of the Waltons.
Huh.
And I met celebrities there, and I met quite a few of them. I met all the siblings that were part of the show. Well, most of the siblings.
I have a question.
Yeah.
At nighttime, did everybody say good night, John Boy?
Yes, they did. Actually, they did do that there.
I would have done that. I would have done it.
We stayed there a few times. So, and the girl that owned it were a friend of ours named Carol Johnson. But anyway, what happened was I started making friends with a couple celebrities, and one of them was Reen Christie Beulah. Her name was Tammy Beulah at the time when she was on the show. And she was Marsha Woolery, who was a girlfriend of John Boy's, like high school sweetheart type thing. And she was on the show a few times, at least for a few seasons. And then she went to soap operas and stuff like that. But now she's a nurse, she's a retired nurse. I'm sorry. Sorry, Reen, you're a retired nurse. But the thing is that I had her on for the first, like real long interview with her about the show, reminiscing behind the scenes, all that kind of stuff. And since I was an actor, that was a way for me to kind of break in to that. And then I had David Harper. He's now my best friend. Really interesting because Reen connected me to David Harper. Now, who's David Harper? He was Jim Bob Walton. Okay. Second to the youngest. Okay. He's now like my best friend. And it's because Reen connected us, and we both are very similar. So the first conversation we had lasted 3 hours. So I said, "Wow, okay, we had a lot to talk about." But it was like I got to know him, and like I've known him all my life, if that makes sense,
Sure.
And what's interesting is I can't even think of him as Jim Bob. It's those, I know he was. But I've separated that. I don't even think about him as that, at all. I think of him as David. So I talk to him as David, But everybody goes, Jim Bob? I said, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's David, though. But anyway, long story short, here we go. Basically, then I went from acting to finding musicians. And now the first one... the musicians I had were not real rock yet. One of them was Charles Billingsley, who is our worship leader here at our church at Thomas Road Baptist Church. It's a mega church. And he used to sing with New Song, which was, of course, contemporary Christian music. But now he's our worship leader, or one of our worship leaders at the church. And he's a pastor as well. But got to know him. Good friends with him, but this is where it opened up to other things, the music world. Okay, I liked rock. I love Charles, and I think he sings beautifully. Okay, okay, but what really gets me going is rock music, and it has for since I was in high school.
Yep.
Sure.
And so I started finding out just about the rock music world. Okay, as far as getting a hold of these people. Now, I would throw out an invitation. The first one was Glenn Kaiser from Band. And he answered me, and I was shocked. He says, "Sure, when do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "What?" Okay, so I didn't know I'd get an answer at all. I thought he'd be busy or something. So I said, "Sure, we'll have to do this." And then my friend joined me, not Nick, but this other friend that was a high school buddy of mine. He was at this same concert, Bootleg Live. We both were there, and his name was Doug Schneider. And Doug joined me in interviewing and reminiscing with Glenn Kaiser about that concert and so much more. We also talked about the Lord, got into the Bible. It was pretty cool. We talked for a couple hours. And so the Lord really used that. That was just awesome. And so it went from there, Glenn Kaiser, to the next thing, to the next. And I've been talking to all now. What's interesting now with the bands that I'm interviewing now, this band knows this band, knows this band, knows that band, that kind of thing.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, it's like a family thing. And then I got really smart. I went to Kingdom Come Festival in 2024 and went around to the bands that were at their tables. I said, would you like to be on my podcast show? And I explained to them what my podcast show was. They said, sure. So I do interview some big names, but I've also interviewed these, what I call independent artists, ones that are trying to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty picky about who I hear in their music. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So do I jump on with everybody? No, I pick who I like. So if you've been on my show, it's because you really got my ear.
Oh, good. You like my band then?
Absolutely, you've been on my show. So absolutely. So if you've been on my show, it's because I went, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. So
Cool.
and that's why I said I am picky, but I would never let certain people know that. The only people like I said, if I get you on my show, that means I heard something I loved.
Have you had Tim Risto on, or have you been on Tim Risto's?
No, not yet. And
You know who it is, right?
that sounds familiar.
He interviewed John and I, and it's really it's our favorite thing because we were able to open up even more on that one than other ones for some reason. So that's why it's our favorite, not because of the host or anything. Because every interview I've had is really cool, but this one was John and I, and we were able to be ourselves right in front of this. Who was in it? I know I got interviewed by Pastor Bob Beeman. That was pretty cool too. Oh, Tim.
That would be good.
Yeah, and Tim Risto, we need to push him too because he's like you and Paul and I doing a podcast, and he's a good dude.
That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So then I think one of the first bands that I interviewed was Reclaim the Day. By the way, they signed that hat right there. If you see,
that's cool.
Yeah, but Becca Sugg is their lead vocalist, a female vocalist, and she rocks it. Okay, and her husband plays lead, and then there's Logan, who's like a brother to her, but he isn't a brother, but he's like one because they're a family, of a band, and so it was really neat. I met them. I had them on my show first, and then Becca, it turns out, I met her at the 2024 Kingdom Come Festival and really got to know her, got to know Zana. Zana is a new thing, too, out there right now. She's out of Texas. She's grunge, or she's pretty heavy, but at the same time, she can sing beautifully. To metal that, I mean, it's really weird to hear her voice. Just, because she's little. I met her and she's small. Okay, she's like, you wouldn't think the voice that comes out of her.
How tall is she?
Well, she was below me, like around here. So I'm 5'10". She was under 5'10". So for sure, she was like.
Because Lacey Sturm is really short too.
Yeah, she's like her. Okay. Very similar in music style.
Okay.
So that would be what I would compare her to. And as a matter of fact, it's one of probably her influences.
We'll have to check her out.
Yeah, she's really good. She is awesome. And she's got a new song called Defiler. And hey, I'm talking for you, it's not here. Defiler is on YouTube video, and Brian Head Welch from Korn is on it with her. And
nice.
So yeah, he's actually singing with her, and it's pretty cool. So it's like, wow, she's made the big time. Where we give it a hard time, but I know her pretty well. I always talk to her and communicate with her and other people and fans and stuff. But the thing is that I always keep up to date with these bands, and when they have new releases, I've had Les Carlson on here, um, which I like him too. And you guys had Les too.
Yeah, we had Les
Oh,
and
he's-
Joyce on together a couple times,
Yeah,
and it was really
yeah.
awesome couple.
Bloodgood. Yeah, that takes us back too, doesn't it?
oh boy.
Yeah. And Baron Cross. I had. He was Mike Lee at the time when he was with Baron Cross, but he's now Michael Drive,
Yeah.
and he's with Human Code. I had him on, and he was pretty interesting. He talked quite a bit, and I was, I mean, it was a great conversation that we were having. So it was nice talking to Michael Drive because I'd listened to him years ago, and I said, "Boy, dude, he reminded me of Iron Maiden a little bit in the sound." his, his
We had
vocal.
somebody from Barren Cross. Who was it again?
Mike Lee.
No,
Oh,
Paul and I did.
Did
you
we?
and Paul.
Yeah, because I bought one of their albums because of it. Wasn't it the
Hmm.
singer?
I'm a little confused. I don't remember having someone from Barron Cross.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the singer we had. What's the singer's name?
Mike Lee at the time.
Oh, not the singer, guitar
He's
player.
now the singer is now Michael Drive, and it's
Yeah.
the same guy. Same guy. He changed his name, but yeah, he is. He's got a kind of like a. I don't know how to explain this. Like he's got his hair kind of striped, blonde and
Yeah.
dark. Yeah,
The highlights.
highlights. Yeah, he highlights his hair, and he reminds me of Tom Petty. He looks like a Tom Petty. I mean, really,
Oh, yeah,
honestly,
he
he
does a
looks
little
like.
bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but he does look like a little Tom Petty there. But he's definitely. I love his vocals as far as that hard, heavy. He's got a thing that no one. It's different than Michael Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Michael Sweet has also evolved with his vocals to me because he used to sing more pure in his vocals, almost like what I call a Styx kind of sound, like Dennis DeYoung. Honestly,
Sure.
I compared him to him a little bit, but then he changed that. Over the years, he's gotten a little more, edgy with his vocals.
Yeah,
And
I noticed that when
Yeah.
probably about the time with No More Hell to Pay.
Yeah,
About
right,
that era. Yeah.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
and I started going, wow, this is different.
Yeah, I like it better.
Yeah, and honestly, I said the same thing to him. I said, I really like what you're doing now. I told
Yeah,
him really honestly, I said, I think you guys have gotten better. And
absolutely.
honestly,
Yeah.
because they've just really honed in their skills. I mean, they're just watching them up there now. It's so easy for them. I watch them in concert, and I'm just like, oh, gee, these guys just play it like it's not even that hard.
Is that the
But
band we were talking about with Neon Cross?
Neon Cross.
Neon
Oh,
Cross is who we had someone
Yep.
with.
Not
Yeah.
Barren Cross.
Okay.
Not Barron
Yep,
Cross.
because it was
Yeah.
Dave
Dave
Perdue.
Perdue. Yeah.
oh, really? Okay.
Quit
Have
making
you
band names so close. Just kidding.
have you had Rex Carroll?
Yeah.
Twice.
A couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something you probably have. I don't know if you saw my interview with him. He actually had his guitar. He was just fiddling around.
Yeah,
But
he did the same thing with us.
Yeah, he
Every
loves
interview he does
he
that.
loves doing that, doesn't he?
I think he has ADHD.
Yeah, it's just like he loves to play, doesn't he? But
His guitar is like a binky.
yeah, yeah. He can't leave a and he picked up another one too, and he was trying to show me. But the thing interesting about Rex, we share a friend, and I tell you this true. The drummer of my band, back when I was living in Libertyville, Illinois. The drummer of my band, he lived in Grace Lake, but he was my best buddy. He was my brother. It turns out he and Rex Carroll knew each other because they went to the same church.
Oh wow.
I had no idea.
That's so cool.
And so I said to Rex, "You know Dave Mobile?" And he says, "Oh yeah. I know him. Yeah, he went to my church." And and now Dave Mobile, by the way, is a pastor. The guy who was a drummer of our band, but he's
Nice.
a pastor in Miami, Florida, pastoring a church, and he really took a different direction. He still plays drums, but he's definitely a full-time pastor now. But it was just neat to talk to somebody about Chicago and some of the, the memories we got there, and people we knew. So it was just like I said, Rex Carroll knows my buddy. It's just like that was pretty cool. So, but it was great talking to him. Yeah, Rex Carroll, and you suggested Rex Scott to me. I think
Yep.
I've contacted him once, but I don't know. I probably need to recontact him. But anyway,
Yeah, he's a great
yeah, that's
guest.
fun.
We had a lot
Yep.
of fun with Rex
Really
Scott,
good interview.
and especially now with the new album that just released
Yep.
for X Center,
Mhm.
And it rocks too.
it'd be a
It's a
good
good one.
interview for you.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
grab the comments real quick because we
Yes, go ahead.
everybody in the comment section has the same last name as me.
He paid them
Hello.
all. He paid them
So
all.
Justice is here. Hey, Justice, and she said cool drumsticks.
Drumsticks. Oh yeah.
And there's Daniel, and he said, "Hey guys."
We
And
were Daniel and I were messaging earlier
impressed
today.
with your bio. What's that, Brian?
Daniel and I were chatting earlier today.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, I had heard
Great.
about that. And then Christy's
Yeah.
watching with us tonight, and she said, "Love that
She
show."
loved that show. I'm sure she means the Waltons.
And I love you,
Yeah.
Chrissy. That's my wife.
You love her?
Yeah.
So-
But I'm sure she was talking about the Waltons. But yeah, that was a.
Yeah, I
they
think
play it on reruns now.
Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah.
grew up watching that. So,
so do I.
the podcast. How long have you been doing that? How long have you been doing your show now?
Oh gosh, let's see. I'd say over 4 years, maybe.
So
Just
how many
about 4 years.
episodes?
Or no, it's 6 years now.
6 years. Wow.
Have you numbered your episodes like we're doing?
I haven't, and I wish I had, but yeah.
I'm glad I thought about it, right, Paul? I was like, we need
Yeah.
to number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had numerous ones, but
It's just
you
fun.
know, yeah, I've changed up a lot of things over the time here, and you know what's interesting though? I re-air my podcast, on my Papa Bear page there, and when I re-air it, I get this comment out of nowhere today or tonight. Earlier, I put a re-airing of Autumn Eve. Autumn is a good friend too. Autumn, hi there. But Autumn Eve, I had her on, had her on earlier, so I re-aired it, and then this guy, he out of nowhere, I think his name's Eric Zegler or something. He just asked me. He's a executive producer and director. If I wanted to be on this TV thing, CTF TV. He's out of New Jersey. I have no idea what that is. But he was asking if I'd be interested, and I said, "Yeah, sure." So that kind of took me by surprise. An executive producer director kind of guy calling me, but or sending a message on my thing on. It actually was a message on the actual podcast. He was watching it, and so I said, "Oh, okay." But that was interesting. But my whole goal, though, honestly, I just enjoy podcasts. Just enjoy. It's even a ministry, and I'm sure you guys would agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Because it's getting the gospel out there. I have family and friends that I wish knew the Lord, and they're watching this. So, and you know what I'm saying? They're watching things that I do in my show. And I'm hoping they're hearing I hope they're listening to the gospel. Let's put it that way. I know they're hearing it.
Yep.
And, I just hope it gets to their hearts. And, I do get a lot of positive feedback on it, and it's really neat. I have people, seriously, friends, not just here in the United States, but overseas. I've got a friend that lives in England. His name is Gary McNaughton. He lives in England. He has Scottish heritage, and I'm Scottish, and so that's kind of what we shared a little. And also, I got some friends in Scotland. So, and that's Marion McNeil and her daughters Fiona and Allison, who are musicians, and they have a band called Really Jiggered, and they play more Celtic, Scottish Celtic music, but they have the thickest Scottish accent. They say, "Oh, that's great," and they call me Craig. You know, it's got the rolling of the R, Craig.
Yeah.
And I love listening to them. I said, "Oh, love the Scottish accent."
Paul and I are going to start a Scottish Christian rock band, and we're going to wear kilts.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're gonna laugh, but I got kilts. I've
got a
That's
picture
why
of
I
you in a
brought it.
kilt.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, actually,
I got three
I got a
kilts,
picture of you
man.
in a kilt. So, yeah.
Yes, yes. I'm Buchanan
So,
by clan.
Papa
But
Bear, where'd that name come from? Papa Bear.
glad you asked. I've mentioned this a few times on my show, but you know, because everybody's wondering what, you know, at the beginning of my show. Uh, Here you can see it. It's this little backdrop is what you see at the beginning of my show. Okay. At the beginning of my show, you see this bear up roaring, you know, looking bad, like he's going to tear somebody up. And then he goes down on all fours and starts sleeping. I call it the roar and snore. Okay. I've got roar, I got snore too.
As we get older, we do that, don't we? We get all grumpy and then we
Yes.
just go take a nap.
Yeah. So my stepson's from out west. I used to live out in Farmington, New Mexico. But when I first moved there, it's high altitude. It's several thousand feet up compared to where I came from, which was Illinois, flat, you know. So I went up there and you know, you just are out of breath when you do little tasks, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And then you get really tired. And I mean, it just wipes you out because you're high altitude. And so I sat down in a lazy boy type, you know, chair, and her sons were hearing me snore. And I mean, I was snoring so loud from one end to the other, they could hear me inside the house. So they called me Papa Bear because they said I snored like a bear.
That's
And
funny.
it stuck with them, and they called me Papa Bear after that, and they kept calling me Papa Bear, and it was
That's
kind
cool.
of an endearing thing. And
Mm.
sometime later, I thought, hey, I could use that as a call name.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I said, I'll just do that, and so they still call me Papa Bear, but when they say it, it's not. They're not thinking podcast. They're thinking
Right.
I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to use your nickname as a thing. That's cool.
Yeah, and I have two boys of my own as well, Evan and Eric, and my other sons are Donovan, Bradley, Marco, and Gio. So we've got six boys between the two of us.
Have you ever been to Colorado?
Yes, many times.
So that one's even higher than what you were talking about because I went out there to play my Uncle Dan and my uncle. My best friend Kevin Brown and I played basketball on their home court. We beat him in a best of 5, but we had a headache. We could barely breathe. We had to use all of our time out.
Yeah, I bet you did. Man, just walking makes you tired. But
like your temple starts pounding. Oh, it's so weird. Have you been there?
I've been. Paul. Yeah, have you been to Colorado? No.
I've been to Colorado Springs. My sister
you know.
Colorado Springs.
So you know Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
How
it makes your head feel? Holy cow.
I went up to Pikes Peak, and I honestly
Same
didn't
here.
remember feeling any pressure or anything. It was just a cool experience.
Some people can adjust better.
Yeah, I didn't experience that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, I would tell you, we lived near Colorado. When I lived in Farmington, New Mexico, we were part of the Four Corners.
Okay.
So you could see the Rockies from our backyard, and so we would go up there. Yes, I've been to Durango. I've been to Silverton. I've been, you know.
So you've been in 4 states at one time, like I did.
Yes, yep. I did a push-up in all 4 states.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
Yes, I was. I was in Arizona, New Mexico, in Colorado, and Utah.
Yep, me too.
Yeah,
it's a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's so weird. Yeah, and Monument Valley, we've been there, and it was so weird because I love westerns. I'm a big fan of westerns. You know, the old school westerns, and even the more recent ones, like with Kevin Costner or even Tom Selleck or anything, Sam Elliott. I'm a big fan of him. Well, I kept thinking Monument Valley. I go, boy, this looks so familiar. Of course, it looks familiar. It's been in most of the westerns I've watched. So it was really interesting, and in Native American kind of films too. And my wife, as you know, I've probably told you this before. She's Native American. She's Navajo, or they say Dene. Dene is the proper word. If you say Navajo, that was what the Spanish called them, and it meant thieves.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so they don't like you really calling them that. They like to
Sure.
say they're the Dene Nation. So it's very interesting. But she speaks the language fluently. She grew up with her grandmother, and her grandmother spoke that language all the time. And so she learned it, and so did her twin brother Bernard. And
Cool.
so she can literally converse with the elders and the older people. And what's sad is most of the younger generation, not all, but most, have kind of lost that.
Hmm.
And but she's a rare gem, so to
Yeah.
speak. When they and I hear her, I'll say this: when she praises the Lord, whether we're in church and she's lifting her voice or singing in her language or praying in her language, it's beautiful to listen to. I don't know how to, and she explains to me what she's describing. It's an actual description within their language. So it really it brings it home to me where the Lord created those languages, right? I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, that's what he
The
did. He
Bible.
created those languages.
Hmm.
And because each language has something beautiful within it.
Right.
That's the way I look at it. So
Yeah.
I had
So,
what do you call an aunt that was a missionary to the Hopi and Navajo Indians in Arizona.
okay, yep.
Keams Canyon, you know where that is?
She probably would. I
So
know. I
I climbed those. What's it called when it's not a mountain, but it goes down the ground and then you
can
climb up? Yeah, canyon.
canyon. Yeah.
The canyon wall. We climbed up that. That was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yep. So
Yeah.
the Hopi and the Navajo, because we went up on their. Have you ever been on those plateaus where their whole village is up there, and but you can look over the edge and you're like,
I have been near an edge like Canyon de Chelly.
Okay,
It's a smaller version of the Grand Canyon. Okay,
got you.
but it was 800 to 1,000 feet up, and you
Yeah.
were looking down, and it looked like you were in an aircraft looking down at the ground. I mean, that's how high it
I mean,
seemed like you
I was
were.
only a kid when we went to Keams Canyon in Arizona,
Mm,
but it seemed pretty big to me.
yeah, it's gorgeous in its own way because
Right.
I again look at this stuff and I say, yo, God carved all these rocks out with the flood,
Yep.
yeah.
which I've learned. But it's just amazing the power that you see behind all of that. It's just,
Exactly.
I'm just like, oh, you're in awe. You're awestruck by the things that you see on this earth. So anybody who says there is no God truly is a fool.
Yep.
It's like, I mean, you're this big and you're saying there's no God.
Exactly.
So but I'll tell you when I really felt it. When I was in the Marines, I told you guys, I was in the Marine Corps. I was on a naval ship called USS Incheon, and we were out in the middle of the Atlantic. And as I was on the flight deck, I was walking around. We used to run up there on the flight deck, for exercise. But there was one point where I'm just stopping. I'm looking. In every direction is ocean and no land. Yeah, makes you feel that small.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, man, I would not want to be out here by myself. Yeah, if you know what I'm saying.
Yep.
It's just like, wow, the power of that really hit me. Just in certain situations, I'd be looking at that going, wow. And then I could see all the stars too. At
Yep.
night, if you went out there, the sky is huge
Yeah.
when you're out in the ocean. And it's just amazing. We also were in a storm. Um, And I kid about this, but my mom says I have sea legs, and the reason she says that is my most of my ancestors, my grandparents and aunts and all, were sea captains on large ships or boats, and so she says you have sea legs, and the reason she said what happened was I told her I didn't get seasick. All my buddies got seasick because of the waves. I mean, that ship was going up and down. The waves were coming over the flight deck. It was crazy. Okay. But I didn't get sick, not once.
All right.
And yeah, so I go to my buddies, my Marine buddies, and I go, "What's the matter? Can't hack it?" And they said, "Shut up."
Fight start.
Yeah, they were hanging over the toilets.
Yeah, they're not fighting. They're getting sick.
They weren't fighting. They were sick. Yeah, I said, "Oh boy, this ship is really rocking, huh?" Do that thing, Sylvester. I don't know if you ever saw the cartoon, the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah,
They're the classic, right? Remember Tweety making that boat go like this and this on the picture, and
yes.
poor Sylvester's like turning green. That's what you do with your friends. You go, "Whoa, man, check it out, it's moving."
If you did that to me, I'd just turn around and let it all flow on you.
Yeah, they probably wanted to do that, but it was interesting. And what's weird is when the ship would hit port, okay, and we would step out on land that doesn't move, we would keep moving.
Yep.
You were going, "Oh gosh, wait a minute! You're trying to negotiate the ground." It's weird. Your body's so used to moving,
Right.
and so it was very interesting. Oh, and you better pick your legs up when you're walking through a ship. I'll tell you why. Their doors are hatches.
Yep.
Okay. And at the bottom, if you don't pick up your leg, your shin hits that metal part, and it sends you to the floor hurting. And I got it once, and I learned. After that, I kept picking
Never
my
happened
feet up.
again.
Never happened again. Boy, I'll tell you, that was a lesson learned right there. But most of my life has been a story. I did the reason I went into podcasting too, by the way, is I'm an actor. And people go, "What's that mean?" Well, what I'm saying is I learned to speak in public formats, in front of many people. It's a lot scarier than being behind a mic. Because you see all the people out there, right? But what I learned, my voice lesson teacher taught me. She says, "Look at over the top of their heads. It looks like you're looking at them, but you're not. You're looking over their heads." And so that helped me. And also getting into character, I got so into my character. As a matter of fact, I was in Camelot. I did so well, I actually was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a role. I played an old man, Sir Pellinor, and I had to play an old senile man, and they grayed my hair, they put wrinkles on my face, gave me a gray mustache. It's really funny, and now I can grow that stuff.
And now you're senile.
Now I'm that age, right? But I was supposed to be this older gentleman, and I talk like this. What? I had an English accent, and so I learned how to do that, and when I did it, I got so into that role, I forgot the audience was even there. I was just playing up my role, and eventually I didn't get scared of any of that stuff. It just was easier for me to just go ahead and do it and not think about it. Just get into the role. And when I got into the role and talked to the other characters on stage, audience wasn't there. I was literally in the world of Camelot for those moments. And so that's how I learned how to act well. And but I acted so well, somebody thought I was an old man. They actually didn't know it was me. And by the way, these are people that knew me. And after I left the stage one time, I had taken all my makeup off, took the stuff out of my hair, all that stuff. I came walking out, and they were all talking, and they said, I wonder who that old man was. And I couldn't remember. And I said, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that was.
You could have found out some dirt on them.
Yeah, and they just were like, and I said, well, why didn't you guys look in the program and see who played him? They didn't think to look in the program to see who played what character, right?
Right.
So they said, oh, that's a good idea. So they looked in there and they went, Craig, you?
The light bulb goes on over their head.
Yeah, they were like, no, and because I changed my voice so much,
Right.
I had a real deep English voice. It wasn't a normal. I totally would disguise myself in such a way that nobody knew who I was, and so it was, and I thought I can do this. So I did act, and I did spend time doing drama. I did drama in church. We had a drama team. We would do Christian themes and messages within the skit or whatever we would do on stage for church. And then I did a puppet ministry. And when I was in the puppet ministry, we actually went to competition nationally, and we would win nationally as far as a puppet team went.
Puppet show.
We were called Lighthouse Puppets, huh?
Puppet show and Spinal Tap.
Yeah. But I got started in that because of Muppets.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when I say that is I have always been fascinated by the Muppets and the whole, and I even got Kermit's voice down eventually. Hi, old Kermit Frog here. So I would do Kermit, voices and stuff like that. And I said, boy, I wish I had a puppet to do it with. And I have a Kermit puppet. And I literally have a Kermit puppet that tells jokes.
Is it right there by you?
No, but I could. I could get him because he's pretty funny. Anyway, Kermit.
We got
all right. Hold on.
Now, Paul, we can say that we interviewed Kermit the Frog.
We had Kermit the Frog on.
So we did episode 65 and 64 at the same time.
So I'm kind of curious, and I want to ask him when he comes back, what does a competition look like for puppetry? What does a puppet competition look like?
Yeah.
I
had to
we'll have Kermit explain it to us.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Tell him that right now.
So here's Kermit. I've got a question for you.
Yes.
We are very curious about what does a puppet competition look like?
Well, you see, there are many puppeteers that come to the competition, and they are. I can see your lips moving. Anyway, yes, and all these puppeteers come here, and they compete with different skits that they do in their Christian skits, and sometimes they're just songs and silly stuff. And it depends on the stage and the background and how well you puppeteer or make the mouth move right. Mm-hmm.
Now I have a real question for you, Kermit.
Okay.
You and Miss Piggy, what's going on?
I'm going to keep silent on that.
This isn't TMZ, man. Come on.
We're the puppet TMZ.
Our relationship is very professional. Let's put it that way.
You ever get a hankering for bacon?
She would chop me if she heard me. If I said something like that. Karate chop me. She would karate chop me. She's done it before. Mm-hmm.
This just became my favorite interview.
Oh, good. Have you heard this joke? Here's a joke. How do you confuse a frog?
I don't know.
Put him in a bowl, tell him to find a corner, and take a nap. Now, how does a frog confuse you?
I don't know.
He says he's had a great nap and he feels much better. Frog joke.
Kermit.
Anyway, I gotta get going.
All right, thanks for visiting us, Kermit.
Thanks for coming by, Kermit.
Maybe we can get Miss Piggy on next time.
Oh yes, Miss Piggy. No, we can't. She wouldn't fit in the camera. was a little big.
All right,
All
you
right.
guys saw it.
Yay!
Interview with Kermit the Frog.
But that's I learned it came naturally to me, which was funny because when I first started doing puppets, this is really funny, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up as a child in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by the way, up until 7th grade, I believe. Went to a Christian school and everything else. But in our church, we had a puppet team, and at that time, puppets were just new to the Christian world in the sense that, outside of Muppets. But these were professional puppets that looked like the Muppets. You know what I'm saying? It had that kind of same quality, professional quality.
Yeah.
And I was given a puppet. We were singing in the kids' choir, and I made that puppet do some funny, silly things. While it was up there, his hair was falling off because it's Velcro. And I was hamming it up and having the crowd laugh hysterically. So I knew I got him. So I said, "Oh, okay, I can do this." So that's how I started with puppets, and it continued on, and into drama and into so many things. There
Have
are
you
so
seen
many
any
things I can do.
ventriloquist comedians like Jeff Dunham?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Me too. I
Yeah.
took my drummer John and we sat in the second row of the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, which
Mhm.
it's the first row because the literal first row is for the radios, television contest winners, and all that.
Mhm.
So we were in the first row for the public, and it
Mhm.
was just hilarious. He even made fun of the guy that went to the bathroom that was sitting right in front of me, so I know I got on camera because he was
Yeah.
he was ripping his girlfriend or wife, and he came back. It was just really good.
Ventriloquism is amazing. I
Yes.
mean, especially for anybody who's really good at it, and Jeff Dunham is one of those.
Oh, he's
that
a
is-
master.
he's a master at it. Yeah.
A master.
He literally can do 4 voices at one
It's
time. He's going
unbelievable.
bam, 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 bam.
Yep.
He's throwing his voice
And
every
not
which
goof
way.
up the conversation one bit.
No.
Now the
And
Van
that's what I'm thinking.
Van Andel Arena holds a lot of people because it's
Mhm.
semi-pro. The Grand Rapids Griffins, the Red Wings team, he had that
Mhm.
place packed out and
Yeah.
the floor area packed. And I think he said that he owns the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest crowd for a ventriloquist comedian in history.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, I just
But
wanted to ask you that because he's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, I've followed puppetry for years, and
Okay.
and like I said, I still do some kind of entertainment for kids. What's really interesting, and most puppeteers will tell you this, when you could be having your mouth move like mine was, okay, but I'll have Kermit talk to them, engage with kids, and kids, I think it's a God thing, but they're almost in their own world,
Yep.
and they look right at Kermit and are talking to Kermit.
Okay, I knew your mouth was moving, but I was looking at Kermit too. So
Yeah, and that's the thing is, Jim Henson was not a ventriloquist.
right.
If you ever watched him on the Johnny Carson show and he would have Kermit on there, you would see Jim Henson's mouth moving, but your eyes were on Kermit
Yep.
because Kermit had his own personality, his own character,
Yep.
and you would just. And what was funny is Johnny Carson would be talking right back to Kermit. Interviewing him, and he says, "This is crazy." Johnny Carson had to kind of catch himself and go, "Wait a minute, I'm talking."
Did you see the TV show Soap?
Yeah.
The guy that had he was a ventriloquist dummy, and they were like, Bert.
Mhm.
Bert thought he was really talking, and the other guy, the brother or something, would always look right at the puppet, and the mom would go, "He's not real."
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun though. But hey,
Yep.
puppets definitely get people's attention. Yeah,
Yep.
Chrissy said, "Yeah, that's true." But it can be used, and kind of we're getting to the end here. It can be used in anything that you do. I know that you do it for the glory of God and for expanding the gospel. Because that's my whole purpose. Even though I'm silly and fun and having fun with him or doing podcasting, I like to enjoy laughter. I've joked with some of my guests, obviously, and you guys do that too. You know what I mean? It should be, let's be happy in a world that's fallen apart.
Yep.
We guys can be the peace among all that nonsense because, and that peace isn't, it comes from the Lord, obviously. But what I'm saying is that we need to give that to people right now because we're at war in a country. I guarantee if I was a Marine, I'd be over there right now. Right. I know I would be right on the front lines. And so it's just, we need to pray for those guys. We need to pray for everybody, families back here that are worried about their loved ones over there. I'm sure, so, and pray for Israel and pray for all these people, just that's what we need to do. Yep. And I'm glad that you guys have your show. I watch it. I do. Every so often I get on there and I say, oh, they're live. I gotta go. But I'm definitely gonna have to check some of those guests that you mentioned, and you pushed my way. So that's cool too. By the way, I appreciate it. If I know anybody too, I'll be sure and send them your way as well.
Awesome. Yeah.
Some of these independent artists, you probably would love to talk to. So I might give them some. I might give some of these names to you, and see if you. Yeah. I'll tell them about you, and have them contact you, and you contact them.
You should interview Matt Sassano.
Yeah, I see his name all the time, and he did friend me. So
good.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to get him.
We told him about you, so we got to get this networking going.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we got to do.
Along with Ray Parra's "Is It Wrong," and Tim Risto's what does he call it? Talks Christian Rock. Yeah, Tim Risto talks Christian Rock.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll have to do that.
And we like having the indie guys on, and we've got some authors coming up next couple of weeks, and so we're kind of getting to more diverse, not just the musicians, but some more diverse things within the Christian community. So
yes.
Anything we can help support to get the gospel out there, music, writing, books, stuff, anything.
And that's what it's all about. So
that's what I.
So where can we watch your show, man? Where can we find you?
Oh yeah, right now I'm just on Facebook. But there's part of the reason that I have for that. But I just do it on Facebook page. I'm not doing it on YouTube. I just do it on my Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And but eventually maybe I'm going to expand that. Okay, I'm trying to keep it, keep it in one place sometimes, because if I tell people go over here, go over there, go over there, I don't know. And just go to my Facebook page, which is Papa Bear fan page. Okay, if you go to my Papa Bear fan page, you'll see an electric guitar in my profile picture. I just got not just got, but I got this Jackson electric, and it shreds. So
they have nice neck.
Yeah, it's great. Matter of fact, I told you Becca's son, she's teaching me on that guitar. So so she's my electric guitar teacher. Woo! But anyway, that's it. Yeah, find me on Facebook under Papa Bear fan page, and you'll find other interviews on there too occasionally. So you can check those out. I re-air my interviews sometimes too. When I'm waiting for another guy to come onto my show, just re-air whatever I did before so that people can catch it again. So there you go. That's it.
All right.
Pretty much. Awesome. In a nutshell. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it was fun.
We're so happy we could, man. This is what do we say, Brian? Is the fastest hour in the internet?
Yep. When I looked and we were halfway done, I'm like, oh, it's kind of going slow. But then all of a sudden, boom, it picked up and it was like, could have been Kermit. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was a special guest.
Kermit's pretty fast paced. He's a wired frog, yeah.
He's been drinking lots of Monster.
Who's better, Bri, Papa Bear, or you?
At what?
At what?
Yeah, what? Oh, Tab was one of our guests a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So
He's
I don't know, man. We're all doing. I don't think there's any competition, man. We're just on the same team, and we're watching each other score hits for the kingdom, man. So
exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Well, God bless you guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks again, man, and we'll probably have you on again at some point down the road.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
absolutely. I'll
we'll
bring my
continue
buddy.
to network. What's that?
No, I'm kidding. Bring Kermit back.
Yeah,
Roar!
bring Kermit back.
No.
All right, Brian, you want to close us out?
Yeah. Next time we have you on, we're not going to put your name. We're going to say special guest Kermit the Frog.
There you go.
And then you can start the interview with Kermit, and everybody will like, what?
And then I'll poke my head in there. There you go.
Well, like usual, read your Bible every day and support podcasts that push the kingdom. So you got Is It Wrong with Ray Parra? You've got Papa Bear with Craig. How do you say your last name?
Blann.
Blann.
Yeah.
And then you've got us, and you've got Tim Risto that I know of. Those are our circle right now. Did I
Absolutely.
miss anybody, Paul? That's
No,
about it,
that's
right?
it. So if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, and we'll continue to reach people for the gospel of Christ. Thank you guys, and God bless y'all.